Hi folks, Coach Rich here, here with our weekly coach video, and today I'm going to be talking to you about objectifying your training. What does that mean? What I'm talking about here is adding the objective metrics of pace, power, and speed to your training. What that means for your training and how it pays off on race day. Very simply, the speed at which you swim, bike, or run is a functional expression of your fitness. That's because your speed is a product of the work that your body's doing, and the amount of work that your body can do at a particular time is a function of its fitness. And so if we focus on the work that your body's doing, and if we can measure that work and dial it up and dial it down and control it, and manage that work very closely, we force our body to do more work than it's used to. The body adapts, it becomes more fit, it's able to do more work, and the functional expression of that increased fitness means the ability to do increased work, means an increase in pace, power, and speed on the road. Okay? So what I'm really talking about here is work is speed entering the body. This is a very powerful statement that we've been drilling into our athletes' heads for years and years. It's on pretty much every item of team clothing. We want it on the back of our athletes when they're driving the front of the train with their training partners, right there on the back. Work is speed entering the body. The outseason is a very powerful time to adopt this perspective on what training is about, because the noise that's involved with you training for a race goes away. Outseason training is very simple. Our folks are training between 5 to 7 hours a week. They have 2 days off. We have them running 3 to 4 days a week. They're riding 3. Swimming's optional. It's very simple. They're focused on the work, but most importantly, they have more bandwidth this time of year to learn new things, which objectifying your training does require you to pick up some tools and start learning a new language. There's 2 ways to do it: by means of hardware or software. Okay. By hardware, I'm talking about putting a power meter on your bike, which is a device that measures the physics of the work that your body's doing right now, which shows up on your computer as watts. There's 3 systems. There's a crank-based meter, pedal-based, and wheel-based. Most of our athletes train with Quark, which is a crank-based system, and PowerTap, which is wheel-based. On the run, we're talking about running with a Garmin or a GPS watch, so that you always know what pace you're running at right now. Or you can just have a measured course that you do. One block that way is a street that I've been running intervals on for probably 10 years. From corner X to corner Y is exactly 1 mile, and I've been going back and forth, doing tempo repeats and stuff like that. So my point is, on the run, you can get a GPS watch for about $200, but at the end of the day, all that you really need is a stopwatch. Software-based systems, we're talking about on the bike, Trainer Road. Trainer Road is a web-based platform that, by hooking some stuff up to your monitor and to your trainer, you can have a virtual power meter on your bike for your indoor workouts on a trainer. Okay, we have taken all of our out-season cycling workouts and put them on the Trainer Road platform, so that all of our athletes, regardless of whether or not they are actually training with power, they can still train with this virtual power meter tool, so that they can start to adopt this perspective that we want them to have towards training, they can do that now while they squirrel away cash and nickels so that maybe they can buy a Quark or a Power Tap in the spring. It's certainly not required that you have an expensive on the bike uh, meter, but it is a very good tool. But don't let the money stop you from giving it a try. Go try out a Trainer Road. They have a great product. The second software-based tool is Strava. Strava is it's a web platform where you typically run or ride with a GPS or an iPhone app, and you upload your ride up to your profile, and your run or your ride is broken down into segments that you or other people local to you have created segments for. So, for example, from up the big ass hill in your backyard, or from this street corner up to the top of this hill. All around me, there's hundreds and hundreds of running and cycling segments. And then it will rank you on those segments against everyone else who's done those segments, and it'll also record your performance on each of those segments over time. And so what happens is it's just a fun way to, I always run solo, but because I've identified segments that I run very frequently, and I have a long history of runs on those segments, it adds a fun accountability tool and motivation tool, because today on December 19th, 2013, I was running against Coach Rich July of 2012, okay? And then as more of your local friends join, there's, the normal fun trash talking that happens back and forth. But my point is, you start to, with all these tools, rather than simply going out and biking or running and punching a clock at a heart rate, you always have something objective, a pace, a speed, a power output, a known course. The last time you did this run course, you always have this in your head, and you squeeze out a little bit more work out of the workout that you're doing, and it's fun, and it keeps you motivated. How does all this help with your racing? We encourage our athletes, if they have power and pace, we also want them training with heart rate, and we want them paying attention to how they feel. So as they're training, they're bouncing the objective metrics of speed, pace, or power off of the subjective metrics of heart rate and rate of perceived exertion. So they're training with three different but complementary intensity devices, processes, perspectives, and you just start learning how your body works. It's like you're able to add a third dimension to your training. You're used to training, on a flat piece of paper. Now you're training in a box, and you can just see a lot more of what's going on, so that over time you really start to dial in. At heart rate X, I'm used to seeing pace Y, and it feels like Z. And if I'm training or racing, and one of those metrics is off, why is that? What does it feel like? Am I tired? Is it lack of motivation? Glycogen stores low, etc. You just learn a lot more about your body. You become much more in tuned to your body. And then on race day, that increased awareness, which you've developed by training with three very valuable tools, and now racing with those tools, you're able to make better decisions and execute better on race day, which is really what it's all about. Okay? Thanks, folks. This is Coach Rich signing off. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.